Hi guys. Today I'm going to talk about 10 awful truths about Vancouver. Now, before I start, let me just show you my outfit here. As you can see, I'm dressed up as a gynecologist because I just came back from my Halloween party at work. So I thought I'd keep it on for you guys. So, 10 awful truths about Vancouver. Now, I was born, raised, and lived in Vancouver my entire life. And I agree that Vancouver is one of the greatest cities to live in. If you see any online poll or you hear of friends who have visited Vancouver or have stayed there for a while, they say nothing but good things. And I agree. But there are some terrible things about Vancouver that you should be aware of. So I'm going to share with you 10 things, 10 awful truths. So let's begin. The first thing that everyone talks about is the rain. We get a lot of rain here in Vancouver. Now, they compare it to like Seattle, right? It's very gloomy and depressing. It rains all the time, and not just in one season, but all year round. When it snows, it usually rains after, you'll notice. Summertime, yep, we get rain. Winter, spring, fall, whatever, right? So we get lots of rain. The second thing is Vancouver is very expensive. Now, you'll notice that if you buy anything here in Vancouver, you're expected to pay about 14% sales tax. So if I buy a bottled water that is like $1, I'm expected to pay about like 14 cents extra as the sales tax. And this is very common and very normal thing here. As a Vancouverite, I usually estimate in my head like 10%, at least 10% more of what I'm purchasing. So if I buy a shirt, which is like $20, I usually round it up, my figure in my head, because I know there's going to be the sales tax as well to add on top of that. So yes, the taxes here is a real killer, and it's really expensive, therefore. Another thing is that as a result of Vancouver being expensive, we get a lot of homeless people. Like if you notice, if you visit downtown area, you'll see a lot of homeless people walking the streets or just hanging around everywhere. And they are very open. Like they're not afraid to walk up to you and ask for money or food or whatever, right? So yeah, expect a lot of homeless people, especially in the downtown area, if you visit Vancouver. The fourth thing is tipping. If you go to any restaurant, you're expected to pay about like 10% tip on the minimum for any kind of restaurant that you eat in. So if you add the tax and the tips, Vancouver is very expensive to eat in, right? So you notice that most people, they eat at home or they cook at home, right? Because it's every day going out and eating is a very expensive thing. You'll notice that in downtown, most of the people that are eating in the restaurants are tourists. So there you go. It's very expensive to eat out in Vancouver. Number 5 is theft. There's a lot of theft here in Vancouver. Now let me give you an example, right? I've had 5 bicycles stolen from me living in Vancouver, 5 of them, right? And I've locked them pretty secure in a bike rack, every time. But somehow these thieves have a way of chiseling my lock or removing bits and pieces of my bike wherever I lock it. So yes, you can't leave things lying around like on countertop or wherever, right? Make sure you lock it or make sure it's not seen in front for other people to steal. So please be aware, there's a lot of theft here in Vancouver. Number 6, Vancouver is a hockey town. Now, hockey is a religion here in Vancouver. Now, for an example, if you open any Vancouver newspaper, you'll notice that the first headline you'll see is about a hockey game, right? And usually like business or world affairs or whatever, all those stuff, those are like side issues for Vancouver people, right? The first thing that they want to see or read about is hockey. Like last night's hockey game or a player in the news or whatever, right? So hockey is a big thing here, right? Now, when I grew up, all my friends, they collected hockey cards. They played hockey after school or in the mornings, and they grew up thinking that they wanted to be hockey players. right? You know, me, I was thinking about action heroes or movie stars, but my friends, they were just worshipping hockey all the time. So yeah, hockey is a big thing here. So if you're not into ice hockey, Vancouver may not be for you. Number 7 on my list is jobs. Vancouver is a very hard place to get a good job. Now, I'm not talking about part-time job or, I'm talking about long-term steady job, right? You know, like the government or whatever, right? You'll notice that, like, most of my friends, they have degrees. Like, I have a degree, but it's not enough. You know, everyone in Vancouver, they tend to go for more education after they get their degree. So you'll notice that some of them go to technical schools and learn to be engineers, doctors, dentists, lawyers, whatever. And the others, they go and get their master's degree, right? 3 more years of studying. Because they know it's hard to find a really good, stable job here in Vancouver with just a degree, right? So yes, education is very important here in Vancouver. You know, you have to get more in order to get a good job. And number 8 on my list is racism. Now, racism in Vancouver, you know, there's a lot of ethnicities here, right? Living together, sharing the air, right? But I wouldn't say it's aggressive racism. I would say it's more like passive racism. You know, there's always like one ethnicity showing angst towards another ethnicity. You know, it's not like aggressive and in your face like Americans portray it. But it's very subtle here in Vancouver. Now, let me give you an personal example, right? When I was in high school, there was always like one gang of ethnicities like against another gang of ethnicities, right? And you know, they'd always have some sort of gang war, right? So you'll notice that, you know, everyone generally tends to get along here in Vancouver, but underneath it there is some form of passive racism, which is very off the charts, I would say. Number 9 on my list is sarcasm. Vancouver people are one of the most sarcastic people I've met, and I admit that I am very sarcastic. You know, all my Korean friends say that, Justin, you are really sarcastic. You know that, or you know, they notice that, right? And I didn't know this until I came here to Korea. Yeah, I am pretty sarcastic, and I get it from my upbringing, you know. Now, if you notice, if you watch TV, like if you turn on the TV in Vancouver, you look at the commercials and the TV shows, and generally there's a big sense of sarcasm in everything that you watch, right? Everyone has something like off their lip that has some sort of sarcastic tone, right? Like TV, like commercials here in, like for example in Korea, are very happy. Like, oh, happy, happy, joy, joy, right? Oh, I'm so happy today, right? But in Vancouver, they have to portray everything with some sort of sarcasm. You know, it's like, oh, gee, I feel really happy today. You know, that kind of tone you get if you watch TV here is very normal. So it's sarcasm. There's a lot of it here. And finally, the last thing on my list, number 10, the 10th awful truth about Vancouver, is that life is very slow here. Now, you know, New York, Tokyo, Seoul, you know, these are fast-paced cities, right? Everybody is on the go, 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 right? But Vancouver is a very laid-back town, in my opinion, right? For example, people, you'll notice, walk really slow on the sidewalks, right? There's not much booming nightlife after work. You notice that the streets are generally empty wherever you go in Vancouver at night. And the reason, in my opinion, is because that, you know, it's so expensive to hang out, right? Go eat out or go shopping, whatever, right? At night. So you notice that most Vancouverites, they stay home, they cook dinner, and then they watch TV, and it's usually a hockey game that they're watching at night. And this is very normal, you know. A lot of Vancouver people love to stay home after work. Home is their sanctuary, right? Whereas here in Seoul, everybody loves to go out and party and, you know, go to a public place like cafe or shopping or on the streets. It's always booming and bustling here like around midnight every day. So yes, Vancouver is a very slow-paced, take it easy, no worries kind of town, right? So if you like that kind of laid-back atmosphere, Vancouver is the place for you. But for people like me that are always on the go and rushing, rush, you know, have that kind of like a New Yorker kind of attitude, it's totally different for me. So yeah, these are my 10 awful truths about Vancouver. And I hope you like this list. And if you notice this thing up here, this is my CD. So if you're interested in listening to it, you can download it for free on my site, justinpatrick.net. And if you like or dislike anything that I've said, please leave a comment down below. And you can subscribe if you like this channel. So that's all I have to say for now. Alright, so this is Justin saying goodbye. And 사랑해요. I love you all. And I'll talk to you soon. Alright, bye-bye.